Hi, I'm Judy Litt. Welcome to the third week of Better Balance and Strong Core. And if you just happen on this video, obviously there is a week 1 and a week 2. You don't need any props at all for this practice, and we are going to be standing the entire time, and that doesn't mean that it's going to be easy. I have my phone here just to keep track of our time. So I'm going to get that started and just come to your mat, standing on your mat, really feeling into your feet, maybe going ahead and closing your eyes. Bring your palms together in prayer at your heart, eyes closed or not. And just begin to breathe in and out through your nose. Letting go of anything that has come before this practice. And thinking about your intention for this practice. I've got a few that I will share with you. I balance all areas of my life. I am strong, grounded, and balanced. I find balance in body, mind, and spirit. And feel free to pick an intention that speaks to you. Now, exhale, bring your hands down. Bring them all the way up. Palms come to touch overhead. Exhale, fold forward over your feet. Maybe bend your knees a lot. Hands come down to the mat, to your ankles, to your shins, wherever is comfortable for you. Inhale, halfway up. Exhale, reach back down, head points down towards the mat. Inhale your arms up. Really reaching for the sky. Palms come to meet, and they come down to prayer at your heart. Anytime our hands are above our head, we are challenging our balance. Inhale your palms up. Exhale, push the air away as you fold forward over your legs, bending them a lot, warming up the body. Getting it ready for movement. Inhale, halfway up. Exhale, down. Inhale. Arms rise slowly as you really ground down into your mat. Palms come to meet and come down through center to rest at your heart in prayer. Last time. Inhale your arms up. Exhale, begin to fold forward. Maybe begin to wake up that core a little bit. Head points down toward the mat. Inhale, halfway up. Exhale, down. Inhale, all the way up. And exhale your palms down to your heart center. Palms pressed together. And then just let that go. Begin to rock back and forth a little bit on your feet, spreading your toes wide, just really setting a good foundation here. Your feet can be touching, or they can be hip width apart. Hip width apart makes it a little easier on your balance, and maybe rock a little side to side. And come to stillness. Really feeling into all 4 sides of your foot. Pressing into the big toe, into the pinky toe, and either side of your heel. Now I invite you to take one hand to your belly, the other hand to your low back. Begin to press down on your low back as if you're smoothing it out. You should feel your belly begin to rise. And we're just trying to lengthen our spine here. It's one of our main goals when we practice yoga. Really ground into that mat, really feel into your feet, let that go, take your arms down by your side, palms come to face forward, Relax those shoulders, relax your face. Tadasana, mountain pose. You should feel really strong in this pose. Inhale your arms up, palms come to meet over your head. Exhale, begin to stretch over toward your left side. Inhale back to center. Exhale over to your right side. Inhale, center, going back and forth on your own time, stretching over to the side on the exhale, or the inhale. Yes, inhale, stretch over, exhale, center. Sometimes I get a little confused. And maybe make this just a little flowing. There's no reason to be super rigid. Things that are rigid have a tendency to break. This should feel really nice on your side body, and it's going to wake up your obliques, the sides of your abs. Come to stillness at center. Bring your hands down to your heart center and let that go. Go ahead and bring your hands to your hips. You can also have them out into T. Having them on your hips is going to make this next move a little easier. Make sure your feet are about hip width apart, which is about 2 fists between your feet. And inhale, bring your abs up and in as you bend your knee and bring it up as far as you can. And slowly bring that back to the earth. Inhale, second leg. Anytime we only have one foot on the ground, our balance is challenged. If you're a runner, basically, this is kind of what you're doing your entire run. Obviously, you're moving forward, but you're balancing on one leg. So it's always a good idea to practice one-legged exercises. And we're going to be doing that a fair amount in this practice. A couple more here. Inhale up, pulling in the abs. Exhale, placing your foot on the mat. Last time, both sides. Last time. Now I'm going to turn to the short end of my mat so you can see what I'm doing. Inhale your left knee up. Hands are still on your hips. Core is engaged. And take a really big step back. High lunge. Pull those abs in to straighten out that spine. I know when I come into high lunge, I have a tendency to be forward like this. It's not what we want. We want our spine to be straight. And now really suck in those abs. Actually, before we move, you may need to hold on to something in this practice. So a wall is handy, a chair is handy, any piece of furniture that doesn't move works great. So suck in those abs and see if you can rise up with the knee up. Exhale, big step back. Make sure your feet are like on railroad tracks, not on one line. That will help you have a nice, stable base. Suck those abs in. Inhale up. And see how slowly you can step back. Once more on the left side. Really draw those abs in. Inhale up. Long step back. And then just bring that foot back to meet the other. And we'll do second side. Inhale your knee up. Big step back. Make sure that your legs are hip width apart. Pull your abs in as you bring that knee back up. If you need to put it down, no big deal. Exhale, big step back. Inhale the abs in. Knee comes up. Where are your feet pointing? Are they pointing in? Are they pointing out? Or are they pointing straight ahead? Which is what we really want. And last time, draw those abs in. Feel the length in your spine. Bring that knee up. And then just go ahead and set it down on your mat next to the other foot. Keeping your hands on your hip. Inhale, big step back with your left leg. Toes are curled under, abs are pulled in, spine is long. Inhale your arms straight out in front of you. Bring your palms to touch. Inhale. Exhale your left arm back, opening up into a twist, really pulling those abs in. Exhale, bring that arm back. Inhale, exhale, open up your right arm, revolve twist. Inhale, bring that back to meet the other palm. And just go ahead on your own time and your own inhales and exhales. Really pushing into that front heel will help give you a more stable base. Last time. What are your abs doing? What are your shoulders doing? Mine are hiking up. Inhale, palms meet. Hands come back to hips. Take a big step forward and just pause. Notice how you feel. Notice how it felt on that side. The second side might be completely different, and that's perfectly normal. And you may have much better balance than me, and maybe you have worse. But everybody can always work on their balance. Inhale. Big step back with your right leg. Make sure they are hip width apart. Really feeling into those hips. Where are your legs? Front knee is bent. Go ahead and pull in those abs. Inhale your arms forward. Palms come to meet in front of your body. Exhale your right arm back. Open twist. Inhale, palms come to meet in center. Exhale, left arm and back, revolve twist. Exhale, palms come to meet. Inhale, move back and forth through your twists, trying to keep your spine as long as possible by keeping a really strong core. Exhale, palms come to touch. Right hand goes back. Exhale. And last time, left arm goes back. Think about reaching out with both arms. Can you touch both sides of the room? Inhale. Palms come to meet. Big step forward. I'm going to turn to the side so that you can see what I'm doing here. Just rock back and forth a little bit on your feet. The weight is going to be in your heels. We're going to be sitting back as if we are in a chair. Pretty simple, or so it sounds. Take one hand to your belly and one hand to your low back. Begin to press down on your low belly. See how your navel comes in, and go ahead and give that a little help. Pull it further in. Take your hands to your hips to begin with, and then slowly begin to sink your hips down as if you're sitting in a chair. Notice where those toes are. Can you maybe get them off the floor because your weight is in your heels? What about your spine? Is your spine long? Tuck that booty. That will help with that. Some of us are incurable booty poppers. And the further you sink down into your chair, the more you're going to strengthen your knees. The higher up you are, the more you're getting into your hamstrings. So see if you can come a little further down. Go ahead and inhale your arms up, biceps by your ears. Tuck that booty once again. Having your hands over your head always makes things a little more challenging for your balance. Breathing in and out through your nose. See if you can sink down a little further. Chair pose is a really great lower leg strengthener, really full body strengthener. A couple more breaths. Really reach for the sky, root down into your heels. Exhale, come on up, reach for that sky, and let that effort go. Chair pose is not an easy pose for me, so if you're struggling with it, know you're not alone. And we're going to take chair pose up to the next level. So I'm going to go ahead and turn around so you can see what I'm doing again. And just take a moment in mountain pose here. Notice what your toes are doing. Notice if your shoulders are up by your ears. Relax them down. Take your hand to your belly and your low back. See if you can find more length in your spine. Hands to hips. And begin to sink down into that chair once again. Come up on your left toes. Pull that navel in. Option to stay in chair again if that's what you'd like to do. And if you'd like to go a little deeper, go ahead and lift that left foot. Cross it over your right thigh. Make sure you're flexing the left foot. Make sure your knee is not going over your toes. And if you fall out, come right back in. I'm actually a little too close to my wall here. See if you can sink down. This is standing pigeon pose. It is another great pose for runners. And you'll notice I'm staring straight ahead here rather than looking at the camera. That's because it makes it easier to balance. Okay, go ahead and come on up on an inhale. Unwind that top leg. I will turn around because of course we have to do our second side. Go ahead and take a deep breath in. Deep breath out. Let that effort go. Readjust your spine. Pull that navel in. Pop up onto your right toes. Actually, I'm going to move a little bit further away from the wall. Pop up onto your right toes. Inhale, bend your right knee, cross that leg over the left leg, and exhale, slowly begin to squat down, making sure that your right foot is flexed to protect your knee. Staring straight ahead at one spot will help you to balance better. Rooting in to the one foot on the ground will help you to balance better, and really pulling in that core is going to help you balance better as well. Couple more breaths here. Put a smile on your face. Extra bonus points if you can get your hands above your head. I'm not going to do that. Inhale, slowly come up. Exhale, slowly unwind that top foot. That is a challenging pose, and it's definitely challenging to our balance. Yep, even teachers fall out of things some days. It's just the way things go. It's no big deal. That's why we call it a yoga practice. There's always a way to deepen a pose. There's always a way to learn more, to go deeper, and to grow in your yoga practice. And some days you're going to be killing it. And other days you're going to struggle. And that's life. For our last pose, I'm going to face the long end of my mat so that you can see me. You can feel free to face the long end of the mat. You can stay facing the short end of the mat. And you might want a wall behind you to grab onto, or a chair, something firm that's not going to move on you if you're still working on balance. So really root down into your feet. Go ahead and just come up on your tiptoes, rock back to your heels, go back and forth a few times, and then side to side a few times, and then come to stillness. Notice where your toes are pointing. Are they pointing straight ahead? Really push into all four sides of your feet. your big toe, your pinky toe, the inside and outside of your heels. Get a really, really firm foundation. Take your hands to your hips and simply turn your left foot out and bring it to your ankle. This is our starting position. You can feel free to stay right here. And if you move your arms around in this position, if you take them overhead for instance, it's probably going to challenge your balance a little bit. Inhale, exhale, relax your shoulders. Let your tailbone yearn down towards the mat. Really pull in your core. That is your strength. That will help you to balance. And also just gaze at one point slightly in front of you. That will also help you to balance. And go ahead on your next inhale if you want to go a little deeper. Take your foot up on your calf. Press your leg into your foot and your foot into your calf. It's okay to wobble around. It's okay to fall out. I've been known to do that. And if you really want to go deeper, and you can keep your hips level and pointing straight in front of you, you can reach down, grab your ankle, bring your foot up, and really press in. I used to do this all the time, but I found that my hips really don't stay very level when I do that. So I've been taking the lower position because it's not about how deep you can go into the pose. It's how well you are doing the pose. Is it giving you what you're trying to get out of it? Which in our case is strengthening your entire body by firming up those legs without locking the knees, bringing that core in as the tailbone comes down, relaxing the shoulders. Next inhale, if you'd like to go deeper, go ahead and bring your hands up. And as I said, falling out of the pose, no big deal. Just get right back into it. And put a smile on your face. Reaching as high as you can go, feeling that spine lengthening, feeling more space between your vertebrae. Then exhale, bring your palms to meet in front of your heart, back to your hips, and let that go. And like I said, if you had to come into it and out of it, it's really no big deal. So once again, this is tree pose. Really firm into your left leg now. Go ahead and bend your right knee out. Right foot comes to the ankle. Really getting a good foundation before you move on, if you're moving on. You can feel free to stay right here. Go ahead and bring your hands up. And that may be enough challenge for you today. Or if you don't want to go higher, but you want to be challenged a little bit more, you can do falling tree and bend over towards your right. And you do that by really pulling that core in, reaching up. And that is one variation. So feel free to play around with that. And if you're ready, take your foot up onto your calf, really pressing that foot into the calf and the calf into the foot and pulling in your navel. Go ahead and bring your arms up. If you have to touch down, that's okay. Put a smile on your face. Spread your toes wide. Press into that big toe. Press into that pinky toe. Couple more breaths here, trying to find more space, more openness in your spine. Reaching, reaching. And your next exhale, bring your hands back to your heart, back to your hips. Notice where your hips are, and then let that go. And that is week 3 of our Better Balance and Strong Core Challenge. I hope that you enjoyed this practice and realize that doing this once is going to help your balance, but it's the things that we do consistently that we get good at. So these are the sorts of practices to do a couple of times a week, to do, frequently. If you really want to work on balance, this is going to help you, but you have to do the work. And don't forget, it's not only about balance on your mat, it's also about balance in your life. Thinking about where in your life do you need to bring more balance? How can you do that? What help do you need to ask for? And speaking of help, don't forget that we have a private Facebook group. The link is in the description below. You have to answer a couple questions so that I can make sure that we have a safe space. But I'm giving the people in the group more challenges, more core work, extra PDFs. We would love to have you. So go into week 3 knowing that you are ready, you are strong, and never forget to go inside and find that happiness, that peace, maybe that balance that is always waiting for you.